My footsteps echo through the granite entrance of my residential tower, the sound bouncing off walls that seem emptier than usual this Wednesday night. 14 hours at the office, another campaign delivered flawlessly. The executive practically thanked me with tears in his eyes after my pitch. I glance at my screen once more. Nothing new. The elevator ascends smoothly, its polished doors reflecting back at me. Samantha Hayes, 32 today, Director of Communications, exhaustion worn like designer perfume. My brown eyes search my own reflection for something worth acknowledging. The display stays blank. No notifications, no messages. I convince myself it's irrelevant. I manage 8-figure accounts. Birthdays belong to childhood. Yet as I enter my apartment, the small dessert I purchased this morning sits waiting on my kitchen counter. One candle stands ready in its center. A lonely sentinel anticipating commands that will never arrive. Another year, I murmur to the silence. I set my portfolio beside the couch and slip off my pumps, collapsing into the cushions. My place feels cavernous tonight, regardless of the thoughtful furnishings I'd arranged to create warmth. The timepiece on my wall advances steadily toward midnight, measuring the remaining moments of my birthday. My device stays resolutely quiet. I grab my tablet, planning to lose myself in work until this day officially ends. Perhaps review those projections once more. Instead, my hands have other intentions. Instagram opens. The initial post stops my breathing. There's my brother Ryan. Champagne flute held high, encircled by beaming faces. Behind him stretches a banner. Congratulations on your promotion. My father's hand rests on his shoulder, satisfaction radiating from every pore. My mother positioned on his opposite side, gazing adoringly at her son. The timestamp indicates these images were shared 5 hours earlier. My birthday. Continue scrolling. Each photograph another laceration, countless pictures, the complete extended family present. Relatives I haven't encountered in years. Everyone assembled around Ryan celebrating. The responses blur before me. So proud of our champion, my father commented. The Hayes family tradition lives on, my mother contributed. My fingers shake as I lower the tablet. They didn't overlook my birthday. They selected something else to celebrate instead. Again, recollection surfaces uninvited. Sitting isolated at the restaurant booth, 10 years old, a solitary birthday flame dissolving into my dessert as I waited for my family to return from Ryan's forensics tournament. They'd sworn they'd return promptly. They didn't. Then at 16, dispatched to grandmother's residence on my birthday weekend while my parents visited Princeton with Ryan. It's his education, Samantha, father had rationalized, barely meeting my gaze. My university commencement, eclipsed by Ryan's wedding proposal at what should have been my celebration meal. The discussion rapidly transformed from my magna cum laude distinction to reception halls and invitation lists. Just last month, my father dismissed the Sterling project that elevated client earnings by 43%. It's merely marketing, Samantha, he'd commented, checking his timepiece. Not like Ryan's career in law. That creates genuine influence. I retrieve my device and browse through my contacts. Family names merge together. Individuals who've never once contacted me about my victories, my challenges, my existence. An email alert appears on my display. I open it automatically, then pause at the content. My performance compensation for the Sterling project, $78,000, and my device rings, startling me from my thoughts. My mother's name illuminates the display. For one foolish instant, hope rises in my chest. Hello, I respond, despising the anticipation in my tone. Samantha, sweetheart, my mother's voice flows through the speaker. I'm delighted I reached you. Listen, we're arranging something special for Ryan and Monica's anniversary next month, and I hoped you could assist. Nothing excessive, just managing the catering and perhaps the decorations. You excel at those details. Clock chimes midnight. My birthday has officially concluded. Mother, I say, my voice trembling. Today was my birthday. Was. Oh, she sounds authentically startled. Oh, darling. With Ryan's major promotion, it simply escaped our minds. Escaped their minds like always. I stare at the email still displayed on my tablet. $78,000. More capital than I've possessed simultaneously. Something transforms within me like continental plates shifting into new alignment. My voice steadies. Don't concern yourself, mother, I say. The words emerging from somewhere unfamiliar and new. I comprehend what matters to this family. And for the first time in my existence, I genuinely do. 4 days later at work, my fingertips hover above the keyboard, immobilized in disbelief. The group conversation that I'm not included in, yet thanks to Mother's erroneous invitation, I accessed it. Messages sprawled across my display like evidence at a crime scene, each one more condemning than the previous. Samantha should contribute substantially to Ryan's anniversary celebration, my father composed, at least $18,000. My mother's response appears beneath. She recently received that compensation. Time she supports the family for once. And there it exists. My name spelled Sam in the family thread. 3 letters instead of 8. My own mother can't even write my name properly. I recline in my office chair, the leather protesting beneath me. The Boston skyline extends beyond my window, structures glittering in the afternoon sunshine. Inside Sterling Communications' glass-walled conference space, I'm supposed to be preparing for tomorrow's client presentation. Instead, I'm discovering precisely how insignificant I am to the people who should value me most. My device vibrates. Amanda pokes her head through my doorway, her blonde waves bouncing as she enters. Your brother's online too, she says, then scrutinizes my expression with narrowed eyes. Everything all right. Ryan used our connections at Fusion Industries, I say, rotating my tablet toward her. Brought their communications director into a session for his legal firm without consulting me. Amanda scans the emails, her frown intensifying. This is the 4th time he's done this. And your father expects you to contribute $18,000 for an anniversary party. She releases a low whistle. That's problematic, Samantha. Apparently, it's time I support the family for once, I say. The words acrid on my tongue. What precisely have they done for you recently? Amanda asks, settling on the edge of my desk. Her directness is why we've been friends since our first day 6 years ago. The question hangs in the atmosphere as my office device continues blinking. Ryan waiting for me to answer. Probably wants another contact, another favor. Your compensation was well deserved, Amanda continues. Peterson wouldn't have authorized it otherwise. As if summoned, my supervisor appears in the doorway. Nathan Peterson, CEO of Sterling Communications, impeccable in his navy suit despite the late hour. Samantha, the Riverside campaign figures just arrived, he says, sliding a folder across my desk. 43% increase in their quarterly earnings. The board is thrilled. His smile reaches his eyes. This is why I advocated for your compensation. You've earned every cent. After he departs, Amanda squeezes my shoulder. See, at least someone values you. I finally answer Ryan's call, maintaining my voice professional despite the frustration simmering beneath my composure. He needs Fusion Industries' chief communications officer at his dinner tomorrow. Significant potential client. Family helping family. I'll see what I can do, I say, non-committal. That evening, I stop at Mrs. Rodriguez's apartment on the 4th floor. She opens the entrance with a warm smile that crinkles the edges of her eyes, the aroma of freshly baked brownies drifting from her kitchen. Right on schedule, she says, welcoming me inside. At 86, Mrs. Rodriguez moves with the resolve of someone decades younger. These chocolate brownies won't consume themselves. We sit at her small kitchen table, the floral tablecloth soft beneath my fingers. For 4 years, Wednesday evenings have been our ritual. Me bringing takeout, her providing dessert, the family I've selected rather than the one I inherited. You appear troubled, she observes, pushing the brownie plate closer. I tell her about the emails, about Ryan exploiting my contacts, about the 18,000 they expect me to contribute. And they spelled my name wrong, I finish, hearing the childish hurt in my voice. Mrs. Rodriguez's hand covers mine. Some parents never perceive their children clearly, too occupied examining their own reflection. Her words accompany me home, lingering as I change for the family dinner I've been dreading for days. My apartment feels like a haven now, distant from what awaits me at my parents' residence. On Saturday evening, the Hayes family estate dominates Beacon Hill, 3 levels of brick and privilege. Inside, my mother Margaret fusses with floral displays while my father Thomas pours himself a bourbon. Ryan and his wife Monica sit on the leather sectional resembling a magazine advertisement. Dinner progresses with the customary choreography. My father monopolizes the discussion detailing Ryan's recent promotion. My mother interjects with the ideal anecdote. I push chicken around my plate, anticipating the inevitable. It arrives with dessert. Samantha, my father says, positioning his coffee cup with authoritative precision. We need to address your contribution to Ryan and Monica's anniversary celebration. The space seems to compress. All attention turns to me. 18,000 would cover the location and catering, he continues. As the only family member with a recent windfall, it appears appropriate. My mother nods, her diamond earrings catching the light. Family supports family, darling. The phrase triggers something within me. Family supports family. When had they supported me? Can't I say quietly? My father frowns, not processing my refusal. Excuse me. I can't contribute 18,000, my voice steadies. That's nearly a quarter of my compensation. I have different plans for it. Silence descends, thick and unfamiliar. Nobody in this space is accustomed to hearing refusal from Samantha Hayes. What different plans could possibly supersede your brother's celebration? My father's voice drops dangerously. My future, I respond simply. My mother's face crumples. After everything we've done for you, she whispers, tears forming. The performance is flawless, designed to maximize guilt. What precisely have you done for me? The question escapes before I can prevent it. My father rises, towering above the table. I will not tolerate ingratitude in this household. Your brother is the genuine achiever in this family. The minimum you can do is support his success. His words strike with precision, locating the bruise he's been pressing my entire existence. I stand, legs unsteady beneath me. I need to leave, I say, gathering my handbag. My mother reaches for my arm. Samantha, please don't create a scene. But for once, I don't retreat into silence. I don't smooth things over. I walk through the front entrance, guilt trailing behind me like a shadow. But something else too. Resolution. For the first time in 32 years, I've refused to disappear into the background of my brother's existence. Feels terrifying. Feels correct. In my vehicle, hands still trembling on the wheel, I make a commitment to myself. This is merely the beginning. A week later, Mother calls every morning at precisely 7:30. I've started leaving my device in the bathroom while I make coffee. Samantha, sweetheart, this rebellious phase needs to conclude. Her voice echoes from the speaker as I apply foundation. Your father hasn't slept properly since that dinner. I watch myself in the mirror, cataloging the familiar tension around my mouth. Mother, I'm not rebellious. I'm 32. Then why are you breaking our hearts after everything we've sacrificed for you? The foundation brush freezes midair. What precisely have you sacrificed for me? She gasps, genuinely shocked. How can you ask that? We gave you everything. I have a presentation, I need to go. I disconnect before she can respond. By afternoon, my father strides through the glass entrance of Sterling Communications, his tailored suit and commanding presence turning heads. Amanda catches my eye across the conference space, mouthing emergency before disappearing. I intercept him near reception. Father, this is my workplace. Then you should conduct yourself like a professional. His voice carries, drawing attention from nearby workstations. Professionals honor their family obligations. Lower your voice. I guide him toward an empty meeting space, acutely conscious of curious glances. What do you want? Your mother hasn't stopped crying. Is that what you wanted, to punish us because we missed one birthday? The dismissal ignites something molten inside me. Try 20 years of birthdays, graduations, and achievements. You always exaggerate, he checks his timepiece. The point is, Ryan deserves our support. $18,000 from your compensation is more than reasonable. My device buzzes with an urgent alert from our largest client. I have to handle this crisis. We'll discuss this later. Do too. This conversation isn't finished, Samantha. Actually, it is. I close the entrance behind me, hands trembling, yet voice steady as I contact the client. 3 hours later, I stand before our executive team presenting the crisis management approach that salvaged the Riverside account. My voice doesn't waver once. That was extraordinary work, our CEO says afterward, hand on my shoulder. You just saved a $4 million account with that quick thinking. The client contacted me personally to praise your work. Pride blooms warm in my chest, unfamiliar yet welcome. Thank you, I appreciate that. Walking back to my office, I notice 7 missed calls from Ryan and a text. Mother's crying every night because of you. Resolve this. Resolve. I silence my device and turn to the stack of congratulatory emails from colleagues and clients. The contrast is stark. At work, I'm valued. At home, I'm an afterthought unless I'm providing something. 3 weeks after my birthday, I sit alone in a corner bakery, tablet open, a half-eaten slice of lemon cake beside me. At a nearby table, a group of friends surround a young woman wearing a paper tiara. They laugh, offering gifts wrapped in colorful paper. Make a wish, Jessica, someone calls as she extinguishes her candles. I watch their easy affection, the genuine celebration of her existence. The realization settles like a stone. I will never have this with my family. No amount of achievement will make them perceive me. My fingers hover above the keyboard without quite deciding to. I type beachfront property, Maine. The search yields countless results. Click on one. A 3-bedroom house with expansive windows facing the ocean. Wooden porch wrapping around 2 sides. Mature oak trees offering privacy. Price: $340,000. I study the photographs, something expanding in my chest with each swipe. This could be mine, my refuge, my choice. The next morning I contact a realtor and arrange a private viewing. 2 days later, I stand on that wooden porch, watching sunlight dance across the ocean surface. The owners are motivated sellers, the realtor explains. They've already relocated to Florida. I'll take it, I hear myself say. I can make a substantial down payment. Her eyebrows lift. Don't you want to consider it? Maybe bring your family to see it. No, the word feels clean, definitive. This is for me. Days later, the mortgage authorization comes through quickly, thanks to my excellent credit. I sign documents in a quiet office, each signature feeling like a declaration of independence. Mrs. Rodriguez, my elderly neighbor who's shown more interest in my existence than my mother ever has, accompanies me to the closing. You're doing the right thing, dear, she says, patting my hand as I receive the keys. Sometimes we need to build our own sanctuary. For the first time in weeks, my hands are perfectly steady. I spend weekends at the beach house, transforming it room by room. The walls fill with framed achievements and photographs of moments I'm proud of, my university graduation, the team celebration after landing the Riverside account, the publication cover featuring my communications campaign. The master bedroom becomes my favorite space. I hang a small wooden sign on the entrance. The celebration suite. Inside, I place a reading chair by the window overlooking the ocean, stack books I've always wanted to read on the nightstand, and splurge on the softest bedding I can locate. On a bright Sunday, I type out housewarming invitations to Amanda, my colleagues, and Mrs. Rodriguez. My finger hovers over my family contacts, a lifetime of conditioning urging me to include them. Instead, I press send only to those who have celebrated my successes, who perceive me clearly. The action feels small yet momentous, like the first stone in a foundation of boundaries I'm only beginning to build. That night, I sit on my porch, watching stars reflect on the dark ocean, device deliberately left inside. For the first time in my adult existence, I feel powerful. Not just successful or accomplished, yet powerful in the way that comes from choosing yourself when nobody else will. Tomorrow the calls will continue. The guilt trips will intensify. Yet here, in this space that belongs only to me, their voices finally begin to fade. On Sunday, my thumb hovers over the post button. 3 deep breaths, then I press it. The photograph isn't particularly special, just me on the new cedar porch, barefoot with a glass of Chardonnay, the Atlantic stretching blue and endless behind me. What matters is the caption. Weekend at my new beach house, birthday gift to myself. I set my device screen down on the weathered wooden railing and lift my face to the golden Maine sunset. The September air carries a hint of autumn, crisp against my skin. For 20 minutes, I simply breathe, watching light dance across gentle waves while gulls call from nearby rocks. When I finally check my device, the notification count stops me cold. 19 missed calls, 35 text messages. My mother has called 9 times in 15 minutes. I silence the ringer and slip the device into the pocket of my jeans. Not today. Instead, I settle into the Adirondack chair I assembled myself yesterday and watch the sun sink lower, painting the water in shades of amber and rose. The beach house is substantial, 3 bedrooms, open kitchen, stone fireplace, yet every inch belongs to me. Every decision, from the cream exterior paint to the antique bronze door handles, reflects choices I made without seeking anyone's authorization. My device vibrates again, persistent as a wasp. When I glance at the display, Amanda's comment appears. You deserve this and more, can't wait to see it in person. Monday morning at work brings 7 voicemails from my mother, each progressively more frantic than the previous. Samantha, call me back immediately. Where did you acquire money for a house? Your father wants to know. This is completely irresponsible behavior. Olas. People are asking questions we can't answer. How do you think this makes us appear? Your brother is driving to your work right now. You better be there. The final message arrives at 10:30. There's a family emergency meeting tomorrow night. We expect you there. Don't make this worse than it already is. I delete them all and make blueberry waffles in my new kitchen. By afternoon, I've hung curtains in the master bedroom and assembled the patio furniture when my work device rings. It's Amanda. Your brother showed up at the office searching for you, she says without preamble. He seemed pretty shaken when I told him you'd taken the week off, asked if I knew where you were. What did you tell him? That your whereabouts weren't my information to share. Then he got that Hayes family look, the one like I was the unreasonable one for respecting your privacy. I laugh, surprising myself with the sound. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. He cornered Marcus from finance who mentioned something about Maine. So heads up, they might figure it out. I gaze out at my beachfront property where autumn leaves drift across fresh-cut grass. Let them. Saturday brings my improvised housewarming. Colleagues from the agency arrive with practical gifts and genuine smiles. My supervisor Daniel brings an expensive bottle of Merlot with a handwritten note, to celebrating yourself. We toast on the porch while watching sailboats drift by. Mrs. Rodriguez arrives last, her silver hair swept into an elegant bun. She carries a quilt made from fabric scraps in shades of cream and tan. "For your bedroom," she says, eyes crinkling with warmth. "Every home needs something handmade with love." I blink back unexpected tears as she wraps her arms around me. "I'm so proud of you," she whispers. We grill salmon and asparagus on the porch. Someone brings a portable speaker and contemporary music mingles with laughter and conversation. I take photographs of everything: friends sprawled on new furniture, sunset reflections in windows, Mrs. Rodriguez teaching Amanda how to properly fold napkins. I post these images too, each one highlighting the absence of my family while showcasing the people who actually appear for me. Sunday evening, my father texts, "Where did you acquire house money?" Answer immediately. I pour another glass of wine and don't respond. On Monday, I return to work and the family gossip network is fully activated. My cousin Catherine calls, voice hushed with calculated concern. "Everyone's talking about your beach house," she says. Aunt Margaret is beside herself. "Uncle Thomas wanted to call a family meeting, but you weren't there." "I was busy hanging shelves," I reply, surprised by my own calm. "Samantha," she pauses dramatically. "People are saying things." "What things?" "That you've been hiding money, that you're having some kind of breakdown, that this is all because you're jealous of Ryan's success." I laugh then, a real laugh that bubbles up from somewhere new inside me. That sounds exactly like something my family would say. The call that finally comes Thursday night is from my mother. I answer on the fifth ring, settling into my porch swing. "Samantha Elizabeth Hayes," she begins, voice tight with controlled fury. "This has gone far enough. The Andersons, the Mitchells, even Pastor Williams has asked about your situation." My situation. This attention-seeking behavior, buying a house without consulting the family, posting those photographs. People are asking questions. I rock gently, watching a heron glide across the water. "What questions?" Her voice drops to a whisper. "Why you would need to buy yourself a birthday present, why we weren't there to help you celebrate." It's creating a very uncomfortable situation for this family. How interesting. I keep my voice light. It's almost like actions have consequences. "We need to resolve this." Her voice hardens with purpose. "I'm organizing a family dinner Sunday night. Your father and I will explain that this was all a misunderstanding, that we've always supported you." The old Samantha would have agreed immediately, desperate to smooth things over. Yet that Samantha doesn't live here anymore. "I'm available Tuesday next week," I say instead. 7 o'clock. "And I'll bring the photo albums." "What photo albums?" I smile into the device. "The ones I've been keeping since I was 10 years old. Documenting everything. Documenting." For once, my mother has nothing to say. On Tuesday next week, the stone steps of my parents' estate stretch before me like a courthouse walkway. I grip the 4 photo albums tighter against my chest, my knuckles whitening around their edges. The evening sun casts long shadows across the manicured lawn, shadows that seem to reach for me, trying to pull me back into old patterns. I ring the doorbell instead of using my key. Tonight I'm not family. I'm a prosecutor with evidence. The heavy oak entrance swings open. Father stands there, all 6'3" of him framed in the doorway. His silver hair perfectly combed despite the hour. His eyes flick to the albums in my arms, then back to my face. "You're late," he says, turning away without waiting for a response. No embrace, no smile, just criticism. I follow him into the foyer where Mother waits, tissues already clutched in her hand. Her eyes are red-rimmed, makeup carefully applied to look like she's been crying without actually ruining her appearance. "Samantha," her voice breaks dramatically. "We've been so worried." I don't answer. The script is too familiar. Her tears, my guilt, my eventual surrender. Not tonight. Ryan appears from the living room, drink in hand. He pauses when he sees me, his expression shifting from casual confidence to something uncertain. I stand straighter, holding his gaze until he looks away first. "Dinner's getting cold," Mother says, turning toward the dining room. The table is set with a fine china, candles flickering in sterling silver holders, a peace offering or a bribe. I place the photo albums on the sideboard and take my usual seat opposite Ryan, diagonal from the head of the table where Father reigns. "Your mother made your favorite," Father says, serving himself first as always. "Beef Wellington. It hasn't been my favorite since high school. Ryan prefers it." "Let's just cut to the chase," I say, leaving my plate empty. "I know why you called this dinner." Mother sets down her fork with a theatrical sigh. "Samantha, sweetheart, we're just concerned about your impulsive decisions. Buying that beach house without consulting us." Father interjects, knife slicing through his meat with surgical precision. "It reflects poorly on the family image, reckless spending, poor financial planning." "It was my compensation money," I say quietly. "Money that could have been invested properly." He continues as if I hadn't spoken, or contributed to something meaningful for the family. Ryan clears his throat. "Samantha, nobody's saying you can't have nice things, but maybe selling it would maintain peace in the family." Mother's been crying every night. Mother dabs at eyes that remain suspiciously dry. "You're breaking your mother's heart," she whispers. I push back my chair and walk to the sideboard. The album feels heavy in my hands as I return, placing it at the center of the table. "I brought something I thought you should see." Father's mouth tightens. "We don't have time for scrapbooks." "Make time," my voice doesn't waver. I open the first album, pages of Ryan in party hats, Ryan blowing out candles, Ryan surrounded by towers of presents, ages 5 through 24, each birthday documented with professional photography. "Turn to page 14, I tell Ryan. He hesitates, then flips the page. A photograph of his 17th birthday, a car with a giant bow, Father handing him keys, Mother crying tears of actual joy. I slide the second album forward. "This one's mine." Mother reaches for it first. Her fingers tremble slightly as she opens it. Empty pages stare back at her, a few scattered photographs, me alone with store-bought cupcakes, one of Mrs. Rodriguez hugging me on my 29th, nothing else. "There was nothing to put in it," I explain. "On my 20th birthday you were at Ryan's engagement party. Remember?" Ryan flinches. I open the third album without waiting for a response. Family vacations, Disney World, the Grand Canyon, European tours. "I'm not in these because I wasn't there," I say. "I was left with grandmother or at summer camp or told there wasn't enough money for everyone to go." Father stands abruptly, chair scraping against hardwood. "What's the point of this melodrama, Samantha? You've always been the difficult one. The point is evidence." Next comes a spreadsheet printed and highlighted. This tracks family spending, Ryan versus me, university tuition, birthday gifts, car down payments, family trips. The numbers tell their own story. Thousands for Ryan, hundreds for me. "And this," I say, pulling out a worn journal page, "is from when I was 8. I read aloud. "Maybe next year they'll remember my birthday without grandmother calling to remind them." Finally, I produce a photograph. Thanksgiving dinner 4 years ago, an empty chair at the table, a place setting with my name on a card. "I was in Boston working. You knew I couldn't come, but you set a place anyway, took this picture and sent it to me with 'We missed you.' You wanted me to feel guilty for not being there, but I was the only one who noticed something." Point to the chair. "Look closer." Mother takes the photograph, squinting. "That's not my usual chair," I say quietly. "That's where guests sit. Even when you're pretending I belong, I'm still an outsider." The silence stretches between us, taut as a wire. Father's face darkens to crimson. "What do you want from us, Samantha?" "An apology." "Fine." We favored Ryan. He was always the priority. He's carrying on the Hayes name, the Hayes legacy. Mother crumples, real tears now. We didn't mean to, it just happened. And then it became a pattern and I was easier to ignore. I finish for her. Ryan hasn't spoken. He's staring at a photograph I deliberately placed at the edge of the table. Him at 7, surrounded by presents, me at 5, watching from the background, mouth tight in a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. I stand, gathering my evidence except for the albums. Those I leave behind. I don't need your approval anymore, I say, voice clear and steady. I don't need your love or your attention or your validation. I waited 32 years for you to see me. I'm done waiting. I turn toward the entrance, shoulders straight, steps unhurried. Behind me, Ryan calls my name, mother sobs, father remains silent. I pause at the threshold, not looking back. The albums are yours to keep. Consider them a gift. The entrance closes behind me with a quiet click that echoes like thunder. A year later, on my birthday, the morning sun paints gold across my beach house porch as I arrange a tray of fresh fruit beside a champagne bucket. 33 candles wait on the cake. Amanda insisted on bringing one for each year, plus one for luck. Need any help? David from marketing calls from the sliding entrance, balancing a platter of pastries. Just set those anywhere. I smooth my blue sundress and check my watch. Everyone should be here within the hour. A year makes quite the difference. Last birthday, I sat alone in my apartment with a store-bought cake. Today, my porch bustles with colleagues and new friends, all here to celebrate me. My device buzzes with congratulatory texts about my promotion to executive director. The timing feels poetic, announced yesterday, celebrated today. The ocean sparkles beyond the railing, reflecting the sky that matches my mood. Dr. Chen, my therapist, would call this progress. Our weekly sessions have helped me understand the family dynamics that shaped me. Generational patterns, she calls them. Breaking them takes courage. Courage looks like spending Thanksgiving at a resort in Vermont instead of my parents' residence, like muting group texts when they turn manipulative, like building my own traditions from scratch. Samantha, Amanda raises her mimosa glass, to the birthday girl who taught us all how to choose ourselves. Glasses clink, laughter ripples. I absorb the warmth of genuine connection, so different from the hollow performance of family gatherings. Car door slams out front. I know that engine sound. My brother's Mercedes. Ryan stands awkwardly at the edge of the porch holding a wrapped package. The party conversation dims as he approaches. Sorry to crash, he says. I wanted to give you this in person. We haven't spoken since the photo album confrontation, since he watched his perfect family narrative crumble under the weight of evidence. Join us, I say, surprising myself with how much I mean it. Later, when the party moves indoors, Ryan and I sit at the end of the dock. The package rests between us, still wrapped. Therapy's been eye-opening, he admits, watching a sailboat cut across the horizon. Father still won't go, but Mother's trying. She talks about you differently now. And you? Yes. I never saw it until you showed us how they erased you while spotlighting me. He pushes the package toward me. Open it. Inside is a framed photograph I've never seen before. Me at 6, perched on our old tire swing, laughing at something beyond the camera. Just me. Found it in Father's storage boxes, Ryan explains. Had it restored. Proof you existed even when nobody was looking. My throat tightens. Not a solution, yet a beginning. A knock at the beach house entrance pulls me back to the party. Through the glass, I see my mother standing alone on the porch, clutching a small bakery box. She insisted on coming, Ryan says. I didn't tell her where until today. Mother's hands tremble as she holds out the box. Inside sits a cupcake with a single candle. Happy birthday, Samantha, she whispers, her rehearsed smile faltering into something more genuine. I brought lemon cake. You always liked that, didn't you? I did. She remembered. The party's winding down, I say, stepping aside. You can stay for cake if you'd like. Her relief is palpable. Small steps. After everyone leaves, I walk back to the dock as twilight settles over the ocean. Last year, I spent my birthday staring at an empty inbox in a sterile bakery. Tonight, I'm surrounded by gifts chosen with care, echoes of laughter, and the beginnings of boundaries that protect without isolating. My device chimes with a text from Mrs. Rodriguez. "Did you enjoy your day, dear?" I smile as I type my reply. For the first time, I truly celebrated myself. The beach house windows glow behind me, light reflecting on the gentle waves. I raise my glass to my silhouette against the sunset, toasting the woman who finally learned that validation begins within.